Hey y'all, I'm Garrett, and I'm gonna be talking about something I wish my high school would have taught me. First off, I've kind of always been raised to be like independent, kind of self-thinking in nature. Granted, it wasn't necessarily like how my parents raised me, but kind of what I went through. Like my parents got divorced at a young age, so I kind of learned how to like fend for myself and not really rely on people as much, which kind of like leads into something that I've learned, but I wish something that high school would have taught me because I learned it after high school. I wish like high school would have taught me the like importance of like intrapersonal skills, because in the media or in the course media, do schools kill creativity? As well as the lecture on the 16th, we talk about kind of like this monotonous structure we have, like school just kind of being math, science, history, and English. Just the four core curriculums you kind of just learn and just regurgitate back onto the schooling. So I wish they would have taught me like how to like talk to people, really, like the importance of communication and just people skills. I feel like is extremely important in this world. Like people make the world go round, and I learned this just from like working. I started my first job was a server at Olive Garden, and that really like brought my like intrapersonal as well as like just my like confidence out, because I realized like, hey, I can actually talk to people, and I was never really taught that in high school or really any at all, and might be down to because like my parents divorced, so I was kind of like sullen, closed off. But I feel like if I was taught like the importance of like being open, being able to talk to people, and just like how important it is to be able to communicate like what you want or what they need. Like you just need to be able to talk to people to like survive in this world. And I wish they would have taught me that. And granted, I understand like the difficulty behind teaching something like this. Everybody's not the same. Nobody really thinks the same or acts the same or really wants to act the same. So I don't really know how I would teach this. Personally, I feel like you need a smaller classroom, more like connective. Like really, as the teacher, you gotta like let the students know. And granted, they signed up for the class, so they kind of know what they're getting into, but they didn't know it's gonna be a lot of like talking, like kind of figuring yourself out as well as how to express yourself. Like the importance of self confidence and being okay with how, like who and what you are. I feel like would be kind of integral in learning how to communicate with other people, because it's not really communicating with other people that's like the issue. It's more like how do you interpret what you're feeling so that you can communicate with other people, right? It's like I feel like a lot of people, especially like after like COVID, really didn't like know who they were in a sense. So I feel like making a class that is like extremely like real and like down to earth almost, and like being okay with who you are and how you interact with other people would be like extremely meaningful, especially like for people that struggle with this, like say like introverts or people who don't really like know like how to talk to people or like what to even talk about. And like it is exemplified in course media. Sports can start meaningful conversations. Like it can even like be small talk. Like you don't really have to like talk about big things. Like in the lecture of the 18th, it was just talking about like basic just things that bring people together is a great place to start. And I feel like that's kind of gonna have to be taught, like where to start off with, because I feel like a lot of like the struggle is like initiating conversation. Like I don't know what to do, I don't know how to talk to him or her, because I don't know if they like. Well, I feel like people got to realize you got to start off with like almost what you like or what most people might like. So I feel like that's going to be a way to teach them in a sense. It's kind of again difficult to teach this because everybody's going to be different, and you're not going to be walking up to the same person or be in the same group of like same little group you're always in. So I understand that it will be difficult to teach this, but I feel like it's extremely important because everybody can benefit from this. Learning how to communicate is so important, and I feel like a lot of people don't know how to communicate. Like a lot of people are like, I don't know, maybe timid or not open within themselves or with others, so that they just let like people walk all over them. Like I have this one buddy who's just addicted to his phone. Like he will not get off social media like Snapchat. He just texts everybody, snaps everybody, and like more power to him. But I'm more of the person to be like more of the person to like not really talk to many people. I'm really like okay with being by myself, and it's not that I don't know how to communicate. It's just like the importance of communication. I don't really want to be having fake conversations with 50 people when I could be having like one real conversation with someone. So I feel like everybody could benefit from kind of realizing the difference between what's real and what's not. And I feel like this class would teach you what this is. And yeah, I mean, everybody can learn, especially when it comes to other people. Everybody is different. Everybody has a different perspective, and everybody is like a little puzzle to crack is kind of how I think about it. I'm still a server. This is what, my third year, and every table is different. Every group of people, every group of kids, they're different, and like how you approach it really matters, because a lot of communication really isn't verbal. Like, I feel like this class would also need to teach like nonverbal communication, like how to get the cues, whether it be like eye contact or just like body language. It's really important. A lot of people don't like read those cues. Fortunately, I'm kind of like, I wouldn't say innate, but I understand people a lot. At least I've been told. So like I get the cues, and I feel like that could be something I could like teach other people. Like, you gotta understand how they're feeling to be able to communicate with them from the get-go. Because a lot of people like get offended if someone doesn't want to talk to them in a situation, but it might not even be you that they don't want to talk to. They might just be having a bad day, and like to know the body language or the non-verbal cues that to make you understand this is extremely important, in my opinion. I feel like I am working towards this direction, but again, it's really hard to teach this. So I don't really know a class that does teach this. Sociology has kind of been, I wouldn't say helpful, but definitely enlightening in a sense where you can see all the different like walks of the earth through the course medias and all the like lecture notes. Like the Pandemic Generation Goes to College course media was interesting to me, as well as the lecture on the 16th, because I didn't realize like how many people came off the pandemic like worse off communication wise. Because personally, I felt closer than ever with the people that I did care about, as well as being more adept and able to talk to the people I did care about like deeply. And for other people to come off the pandemic as almost scared and skittish to talk to the people was kind of crazy to me. And yeah, I wish people taught me how to talk to people, but I figured it out by myself.